Hold on to your seats because this isn't your average reality TV meltdown. What happens when a social media star decides to go full nuclear on one of the most iconic women in media history? That's right, Arionne Curry just took her chaos to a whole new level. And literally no one is safe from the fallout. Oprah Winfrey, OWN. And every executive who ever dared give Arionne a chance are suddenly in the crosshairs of her public tirade. You've seen reality TV scandals, sure, but this is a full-blown public spectacle of epic proportions, the kind of drama that makes tabloids blush and Twitter implode. Could this be the moment Arionne finally burns every single bridge she's ever touched? Or is this just another episode in a saga of chaos she seems determined to star in? We're about to break it all down, the history, the horror, and the outrageous aftermath of a social media explosion that no one saw coming. Buckle up, this is the meltdown that OWN will never forget. Arionne Curry. Just saying her name is enough to make anyone in the entertainment world pause and ask, what chaos she's about to unleash next? But this time she didn't just stir the pot. She detonated a scandal so big it has everyone from social media followers to the OWN network executives gasping. Who is Arionne Curry? She's not just a social media personality who thrives on drama. She is a walking, talking spectacle who knows how to capture attention and turn it into pure chaos. You may remember her for the affair with Martell Holt that dismantled his marriage to Melody. Shari left a trail of public outrage and viral headlines. But if you thought that was the peak of her notoriety, you clearly haven't seen the latest meltdown aimed straight at Oprah Winfrey herself. OWN, a network built on legacy, grace, and carefully curated stories of growth and resilience, suddenly found itself the target of a live-streamed rant that went viral within minutes. Arionne didn't just complain online. She unleashed a tirade so theatrical, it was as if she had choreographed every gesture and pause to maximize shock value. She accused OWN of silencing her, labeled Oprah a hypocrite, and implied the network had conspired against her truth. All while millions of viewers watched, horrified and fascinated. This was not casual shade or a petty rant. This was full-blown public warfare on one of the most respected figures in media. And the audacity of it left everyone questioning how far someone could go for attention. There's a clear pattern with Arionne. The affair with Martell Holt, mocking Melody's children on social media, exposing private messages, and her repeated public tantrums were all building to this explosive moment. Anonymous sources claim that behind the scenes, she plans her rants meticulously, from lighting to outfit to timing, to ensure maximum engagement and maximum chaos. She has turned social media into her personal stage, orchestrating events to coincide with press releases, casting announcements, or MelodyShari's business moves. Fans and critics alike have noted how she weaponizes every platform available to amplify her message, regardless of whether it causes irreparable damage to relationships, reputations, or networks. Rumors about lavish spending and claims of financial sabotage only add to the spectacle, painting a picture of someone who wants the attention and the drama more than any sort of genuine connection or resolution. And while some might sympathize with her as a voice seeking to be heard, the reality is that her attacks are targeted, personal, and designed to shock, embarrass, and dominate the conversation online. The real shock factor comes from the target of her attacks. Oprah Winfrey and the OWN network symbolize excellence, professionalism, and influence, and Arionne chose to publicly confront them in a manner that is unprecedented in its audacity. Analysts and media commentators have called it a perfect storm of ego, obsession, and recklessness, noting that every post, every live video, and every public statement seems calculated to create the biggest reaction possible. The social media fallout was immediate, with Twitter threads, TikTok compilations, and Instagram discussions exploding in a frenzy over the spectacle. People debated her motives, condemned the attacks, and tried to understand how someone could so aggressively target a network that has always celebrated stories of resilience and Black excellence. At the same time, her constant focus on MelodyShari and the drama surrounding the affair with Martell Holt shows an inability to move past old conflicts, suggesting a fixation on chaos rather than personal growth. Every live session, every viral post, and every shocking statement served as a reminder of the volatility she brings to any platform. By the time her latest live tirade ended, it was clear that Arionne Curry had crossed a line that few could ever recover from, publicly challenging a media mogul and damaging her own reputation in ways that will linger indefinitely. Her relentless pursuit of attention, paired with a pattern of reckless behavior, leaves one central truth undeniable. She thrives on chaos. She refuses accountability. And the fallout of her actions is just beginning. Sources who spoke under the condition of anonymity say that her phone was blowing up with messages from network producers, publicists, and even former co-stars begging her to calm down and think about the consequences. But Arionne seemed to thrive on the attention. She went on to post a series of videos accusing OWN executives of favoritism, claiming that the network had deliberately sidelined her while promoting others, and insisting that she had been personally targeted by people who were intimidated by her so-called authenticity. The allegations were, of course, impossible to verify. But that didn't stop thousands of viewers from watching, commenting, and sharing the videos, making each clip trend within hours. And it wasn't just the network she targeted. Martell Holt, her longtime partner in drama, appeared alongside her in some of the rants, further fueling the narrative that the two of them were a chaotic power duo determined to dominate the conversation. Observers noted that while MelodyShari quietly continued to build her businesses and maintain her family life, Arionne and Martell were doubling down on public displays of instability, turning every minor dispute into a headline. The lavish lifestyle she flaunted, online designer bags, flashy cars, and expensive trips, was framed as evidence of oppression by the network in her eyes, as if the only reason she was so publicly angry was that she deserved even more recognition and wealth. Anonymous sources claimed that her behavior had become so unpredictable that some network insiders were considering banning her from any future projects entirely, because she was now seen as a liability. Social media, of course, amplified every word she said with reaction videos, memes, and commentary flooding timelines. One influencer, speaking hypothetically about the situation, said, "Watching Arionne Curry on social media is like watching a hurricane form in real time, and everyone is just trying to survive the winds." Fans debated endlessly over whether she was being courageous for speaking her truth or reckless for targeting one of the most respected women in media history. And every new post seemed to ignite another wave of controversy. Her obsession with airing grievances publicly meant that every private conflict became a public spectacle, from alleged insults against Melody's children to insinuations that producers were conspiring against her. Each accusation was met with skepticism from some viewers and outrage from others, creating an environment where Arionne's narrative dominated the headlines. Despite having little to no tangible evidence to back it up, the relentless nature of her attacks created a feeding frenzy in online spaces, with bloggers, YouTube commentators, and talk show hosts dissecting every phrase, gesture, and eye roll, debating whether she was a misunderstood voice or simply someone who had made herself unhireable through repeated chaos. One former associate, speaking anonymously, suggested that she had become addicted to the public validation her drama generated, stating that as long as people are watching, she doesn't care about the consequences. That pattern became obvious as she continued to post screenshots of private messages and edited clips to make it appear as though she was the victim of a calculated campaign. And the public, in turn, shared these posts, argued over them, and created a cycle of attention that seemed impossible to break. The fallout was immediate, with some industry professionals suggesting that her credibility had been permanently damaged, and that no network would risk associating with someone so unpredictable. Even casual viewers could see the stark contrast between Arionne and Melody, whose measured, composed approach to rebuilding her life made Arionne's explosive antics appear even more chaotic. As Arionne escalated her attacks, calling out alleged corruption and bias within OWN and accusing Oprah personally of mistreatment, it became clear that her focus wasn't on resolution or growth, but on domination of the narrative, making herself the center of attention at all costs. Every live video, every social media post, and every public rant reinforced a reputation that was fast becoming synonymous with instability and unpredictability. And while she may have believed she was standing up for herself, the broader public and media industry were watching with a mixture of horror, disbelief, and fascination, realizing that Arionne Curry had turned chaos into a career-defining spectacle that would be remembered long after the videos disappeared. By the time the dust settled, the consequences of Arionne Curry's relentless social media assault were beginning to show, and it became painfully clear that her actions had triggered more than just online chatter. Network insiders reportedly scrambled to assess the damage to OWN's reputation while executives discussed potential legal action. Not against her for mere opinions, but for the leaks, the private messages she shared, and the defamatory claims that could have long-term implications for the network. Some sources suggested that lawyers were already drafting cease and desist letters, while PR teams worked overtime to contain the narrative and reassure advertisers and viewers that OWN's brand would not be defined by the chaos of one volatile individual. Public backlash was immediate and unrelenting, with trending hashtags condemning her behavior, viral threads dissecting every statement she made, and countless commentators questioning why she would take on one of the most respected media figures in the world so publicly. The financial stakes were equally high, according to rumors circulating from anonymous insiders, claiming that potential deals, endorsements, and collaborations were being reconsidered, not just for Arionne, but for anyone associated with her, as brands feared the reputational risk of aligning with someone whose behavior was so unpredictable and incendiary. Meanwhile, the public reaction extended beyond outrage into mockery, with late-night talk shows and online comedians transforming her rants into material for sketches and memes, ensuring that her meltdown would be referenced for weeks, if not months. Martell Holt's continued involvement only amplified the spectacle, with sources describing their partnership as a double storm where both individuals seemed determined to outdo each other in public displays of chaos rather than seeking any form of resolution or growth. Some insiders suggested that the pair's obsession with visibility had become pathological, pointing to incidents where they appeared to manufacture conflict just to ensure that cameras, phones, and social media audiences were watching. In parallel, MelodyShari quietly continued to solidify her position as a figure of stability and resilience, building her businesses, strengthening her brand, and maintaining her family life, creating an even more stark contrast between her measured approach and Arionne's self-destructive tactics. Analysts speculated that the long-term effects on Arionne's career could be severe, warning that networks, brands, and investors generally shy away from individuals who demonstrate a pattern of recklessness and public outbursts, especially when those outbursts involve figures of immense influence and legacy like Oprah Winfrey. Some hypothetical scenarios floated among industry watchers included revoked appearances, suspended contracts, or even lawsuits over the intentional spread of defamatory content. And while none had been confirmed at the time, the possibility alone created a tense atmosphere that suggested her social media crusade could have lasting professional ramifications. The moral of the story, as many commentators pointed out, seemed clear. Visibility means nothing if it is coupled with instability and a refusal to take responsibility for one's actions. Every post, every live video, and every accusation was now part of a permanent digital footprint that could define her legacy, far more than any actual talent or contribution ever could. Public sentiment was polarized, with a minority still defending her courage to speak out, but the overwhelming consensus pointing to a lack of accountability, a pattern of self-sabotage, and a tendency to escalate conflicts for personal attention. In the end, Arionne Curry's relentless pursuit of drama left her isolated in the public eye, estranged from networks that once might have offered opportunity, and surrounded by controversy that she seemed unable or unwilling to escape. Her brand had become synonymous with unpredictability, her platform a magnet for chaos, and her story a cautionary example of how ambition, when fueled by ego and recklessness, can burn bridges faster than any public scandal. As the virtual and real-world ramifications continued to unfold, one fact remained undeniable. Arionne had cemented herself as a figure of spectacle, someone whose every move would be scrutinized and whose ability to reclaim a conventional career path would be in serious doubt unless she chose to take accountability, recalibrate her approach, and step away from the path of destruction she had so meticulously cultivated. So, what do you think? Can Arionne Curry ever recover from a public meltdown of this magnitude? Or is this the moment her reputation officially becomes a cautionary tale for anyone chasing fame at all costs? We've seen the chaos, the drama, and the destruction. But the question now is whether lessons will ever be learned. Do you side with the critics who say she's burned every bridge beyond repair? Or do you believe there's still a chance for redemption if she finally chooses accountability over attention? Drop your thoughts in the comments because the conversation doesn't end here. If you've been watching the drama unfold, you know there's more to this story than meets the eye. And we want to hear your take on every twist, rant, and shocking revelation. Make sure to like this video if you love a deep dive into the wild world of celebrity chaos, and subscribe to the channel to stay ahead of every scandal, meltdown, and shocking expose that hits social media next. Hit that notification bell so you never miss when we break down the latest headlines, reveal the inside scoop, and separate the truth from the hype. This is the kind of drama that keeps the internet talking, and you don't want to miss a single moment. Your opinion matters. Join the discussion today.